Hey there everybody, just carrying on working on the ad hoc here. The first thing I've just done is I've installed this panel in here because I wasn't happy with the visibility through the building, because beforehand you could see straight through from one of the side windows over here through the building and out of those windows at the far side. So by introducing this panel in here, it's blocking line of sight through, so you can't see through there now. Just gives you at least two directions of line of sight blocking. I know you can still see clean through areas like this, but that's fine because there'll be a street furniture, that's the word I'm looking for, which will deal with that. The next thing I'm going to do is where you can see straight through this piece of building here. I've just built a panel which will fill that in. So here's the end of the building, and as you can see it's completely empty at the moment. I just built this panel here. This will just go as an insert, it'll fit here. Yeah, everything was slightly skewed because I bodged assembling everything. And as you can see, I just put like a lintel in here, and this is just to make it look like there is an actual window frame of some nature here, so that it's a long, narrow, tall window right at the top. And then that will act as blocking line of sight through the building in this direction again, because as much as I quite like these open buildings, one of the key things in Infinity is you actually need a complete line of sight blockers. I am going to build a series of high walls as well, and all of this will match together and complement one another in order to build the kind of line blocking terrain you need. Also though, it keeps the terrain interesting and really makes you have to think what you're doing as a player. Here's the back door. At the moment it's just a gaping hole, and I decided ultimately I thought about maybe doing a sliding door which would lift up so that it stuck out and would slide back in and under, but because of the clearance from the roof to here, it's kind of the door that I'll do when I make a sort of row of garages. So instead I've just got it on a white surface so you can see it a bit easier. I've made a hinge door. And the hinge has to go back in, hence this goes sideways out of the bottom. Also will have to be fitted afterwards. It's got a door handle on it because it's pretty snug fit. And I've already etched the front and I've etched the back. So it's like a strong door. If you imagine the interior, even though the doors, I'm not going to make those particular doors, there would be some kind of security door that would, like, I don't know, roll down from the ceiling at night or something. But for the purposes of gaming, I'm not going to make those internal doors, which you can't really see unless I bring the camera right back and zoom in. See where that is there. Just sort of this wall here in the middle of the door, there would be sort of security rollers there, but I'm not going to bother to make those. Too complicated, and also that space is getting pretty difficult to reach into now, and I don't want to make it any harder. So I'll just fit this door so you can see what it looks like fitted, and I'll get back to you in a moment. Okay, I've already bored holes for the mechanism to fit into. This hole is for this bottom edge to slot into, and you can't see it, but there's also a hole in the top. So all you have to do is just slot this up into there, and then this bottom one down into this hole down here. Once that's done, it's fitted. So I'll just do that so you can see. So here you go, that's the door fitted. You can see it's a pretty tight fit. There's been a slight cutaway at the bottom here, but it hinges out, and this is why it's got the handle, because it's a pretty snug fit, and it opens up. Also means that when it's open, and it's built like a strong door, so it's like it's valid cover. This would be like, I don't know, a security door for accessing. And now I know that there's a huge window on the side of the stairwell here, but you know, this is all to make it pretty. Also, that huge window facilitates reaching into this area down here. So yeah, that is how the door will work. It's a simple hinge door, arcs out, arcs in. I have glued the pin that comes out of the top of here, and it's just very thin gardening wire, by the way. You could make this using copper wire, but it's harder to cut and you need it to be quite thick. I mean, you could even use very thick solder if you prefer. This is what I've chosen to use, and I've used an allspike, in fact, to make the hole. Just one of these, stabbed down into the top. There was a bit of splitting that occurred, which is why I glued the pin into the door, which goes into the top. The pin, which is at an angle, which goes in at the bottom down here, that isn't even going to be glued, and I'm not going to glue it. It means that you can always take the door in and out. And also, I'm going to have to take it to pieces again now, because doors need to be painted separately so that you can fit them afterwards and everything's fine and fits properly. So onwards and on to the next set of doors. I've got the front doors to do and the doors out of the top, and I haven't decided how I'm doing all this stuff yet. What we have here is the beginnings of the doorway into the upstairs. So before there was a big gap here, just a big hole, and now we have a frame and we've got a couple of sliding doors. So you've got a runner in here to help keep them aligned. You've still got plenty of reach in, because you can reach in through the side of the house, the building inside, so it doesn't interfere with that too much. The only other thing I'm going to do is, I haven't actually cut the right piece yet, but I'll put in like a small roof which will lock these into place. I'll still be able to feed these in underneath and get each panel in separately, and that will help to keep them in the runner. The only other thing we do is, I'm not going to etch these, but I think I am going to cut panels out of them and then make them transparent so it looks a bit like glass. Well, I have transparent plastic, or I could put coloured plastic in. I'm going to put in transparent plastic though. Just make a couple of sort of very simple handles and also simple open panels. I want this to be a building which could be a shop or a storehouse or some kind of utilitarian facility for some reason. I mean, I might at some point even build some kind of crane so that there could be on this panel sort of here, maybe there could be a crane, so it could be part of a bigger like a docking facility or what have you. It could be somewhere where records are kept, or office buildings, just to maintain diversity in terms of what the building can be used for, because I'm going to attempt to give lots of different environments, and each environment's going to have a theme. So this is still essentially part of the JSA's district as such, and I'm going to keep the districts together, and over time, as the adventures progress, there will be more districts. So I'm just going to crack on with this, and next time you see it I should have this doorway complete. Okay, so here's the front of the building blocked in now. I have left enough space so that you can fit doors in underneath, and then they'll slide in, and then that's fitted, so it'll still be sliding doors. The back's actually open, so I'll just give it a quick flip around so you can see. Kind of see. So I've just put in some details in around here so you can get a bit. You can see this is the sliding. You've got your sliding panel in here. So yeah, sorry, I'm just being spastic fingered. Then also you have little details like this on the interior edge, which if I just tilt the building up a bit, connects in with the various panels, so you sort of get a bit of nice patterning on the interior. So yeah, that's the basic rail system. Just got to do the doors now, get them finished, put panels in, etch any details I want to do. I might put door handles on them as well, because they are a bit of a nuisance to open and close. So yeah, I'll get that done. I'll be back with you in a minute. Okay, so no transparent panels, but I have etched these doors and put handles on them, so now you've just got little handles. Handles also, if necessary, can act as stops. But yeah, simple again, sliding rail door. Maybe I should put some kind of stopper in there, but I don't really want it because I want them to close properly, and I don't want to put a divider in between them. So they kind of look like Japanese paper screen doors, but they're not paper screen doors, and I'll probably paint them as if they're metal or something, so it looks like they're reinforced, but done in the same kind of pattern as if you when building, so it looks like Japanese screen doors. Maybe do it with black and white panel details or something. So then finally it'll just be onto the last set of doors, the big front doors, and then this building will be ready for painting. So I'm just going to crack on with them. I'm not quite sure what I'm doing with them yet. Half thinking about doing folding doors, but maybe there's a bit too much. So it'll either be folding doors or hinge doors, which hinge inwards, I think. But I'm going to crack on and I'll show you once I've actually decided and been halfway through the building. And this is Joy of Haddock. You just make it up as you go along. All the doors are different, and I think that actually works well from my point of view. The other thing about these doors is now that area is entirely blocked off for line of sight purposes. This means the building is now viable as a line of sight blocking piece of terrain in its entirety, as far as I'm concerned. And it's up to players to open and close things off. Also, if you get a very high elevation nearby, you can see down through the windows to somebody lurking behind, so it just creates an interesting piece of scenery in terms of players actually have to think about what they're doing. Nothing's going to be arbitrary with this stuff. So yeah, I'll catch you in a moment. So here we have it, final doors done. They've been a total nightmare. Well, not a total nightmare, just they're this kind of double pivot door, and they can pivot in, pivot out. If you've got a dude in there, you could open potentially just one panel, you could open them in, so you're creating cover on the inside, so you can duck out from behind if someone's in the window over here. Then you create cover in there. You could pull them out so that they are forming cover further out into the street, and it just gives you a lot of variety of what you can do with them. You can even fold it back in so that you're getting cover in on this side. There's quite a lot of options there. I had to mess about with this, and then this has been a total nightmare, and it's not quite square, it's a little bit squint, and it's really annoying me. But with this stuff, once you've super glued it, if you take it to pieces, it's liable to tear the material itself to pieces, because it does a proper chemical bond when you do it, so you kind of need to get it right first time. If you are interested, there's another hinge built in the same way as this hinge, where you've got a middle piece, the top and the bottom, which is just around the corner here out of sight. It's around the corner here out of sight. I had thought about putting a panel in the top, but actually it doesn't look awful without it, and I'm just going to say, as with the houses I was making, it's just glass where there's a micro mono sort of filament bottom edge to the window. So there you have it, building is done, dusted and ready. So that's all the doors. There's those doors. Then there are the sliding doors, which are up on the roof here. Ba-ba! And then there are, or is even, because it's a singular, the back door, which is so there you have it. Project finished, ready for painting. So I'll just give you a quick tour. Spin it around for you so you can have a general gander. there we have it. This is my ad hoc build for the moment. Next time you will see it painted. So I hope it's been some use to you, and I hope you enjoy your modelling. Cheers everybody, take care and have a good one. Bye bye.